Yeah, right guys, how's it going? Rob here again. So, obviously like I promised, I said I would do a video on essentially on my diag stuff, like on the stuff that I use to diagnose vehicles and whatnot. Now this is more the electrical side of things, to be honest. So this will cover essentially a scanner, multimeter or DVOM, depending on where you are, power probe and oscilloscope. Essentially, I have all of them because I feel like I need to use all of them for different things. For example, if my scanner doesn't work on a component, I can perhaps use the power probe to basically power the component itself if there isn't a function on the scan tool to do so. Things like that. So starting off with the scan tool, essentially, I have a old Maxidas. I got this in around 2013, but I have updated the software so it does actually run essentially 2016 to 2017 vehicles. It's a really good scan tool. I use it for a lot of PID information, so I suppose the coverage depends on actually what vehicles you will be using it on. I've found it's a really good tool just for your sort of European stuff, any VAG, BM, and then obviously in the UK we have a lot of Fords, Vauxhalls, Skodas, Seats, those sorts of brands. It works really well on, I've found. It doesn't do too well on Asian vehicles, I have noticed, but again, you know, as mechanics you need to be able to basically cover as many bases as you can, and there isn't one scan tool to do all of them. So yeah, that's my scan tool. I use that sort of to read diagnostic fault codes, check any PID data, any live data that I can, that if the function allows, and that sort of thing. Okay, moving on. So I have a Fluke multimeter. I've had this for quite a few years. To be honest, Fluke are one of the best brands for multimeters I've found. I have these quite cool old school terminals, but they basically double up as a pin, so you can essentially, if I can put this in focus, you can essentially roll this to get a better connector, or if you're worried about poking holes and stuff like that and you just want to try and get it on essentially a back pin or a back probe, whatever it may be, you can use that. It's quite a good little feature of those particular test leads. Again, sort of, it's your typical DVOM. It has a min. The ranges on it are actually like really quite well. If you focus, you're going to focus anytime today. Yeah, there we go. No. Yeah, no. You're going to focus? Won't focus. Right, okay, so your ranges are basically min-max. You have a automatic range, you have a hold feature, continuity, a relativity, so if you were doing, say, an ohms reading, you could actually essentially ohm out whatever, for example, the wiring, and then when you tested the circuit, you'd be able to then see the actual resistance of the load rather than take into account the wiring. That's good for obviously like resistance testing and a bit of voltage drop and that sort of thing. Moving on, power probe. Again, use it quite often. Really good sort of a quick and dirty tester. Powers, grounds, powering components up. You know, I mean, even stuff like wiper jet motors, things like that take a complete 12 volt straight to the terminal just to see if it powers up. Little quick battery test that I can click onto one of my scan tools. I don't have actually. Yeah. So this is basically just to check the battery terminal output and also provide a power for the unit if for whatever reason there wasn't any power on the data link connector, or so on and so on. And then we get to my scope. I have a Handtech scope. They're a Chinese company. Again, a lot of people praise by Pico and sort of go off on Picos and say they're the greatest thing since sliced bread. Yes, they are, but they're also very expensive. And a young lad like myself can't actually afford one at the moment, even though I'd like to. So I found that this kit is a really good compromise. It cost around £600, I think, when I got it. And I'll be honest, when I ordered it, I thought I'd been ripped off. It's one of those, when you order on eBay and stuff like that, you take your life into your own hands sometimes. But it came out actually quite well. It's a 4-channel scope. So there's the scope itself. I have stored it away quite a bit. So there's your 4 channels, your input and that, your outputs. Has obviously high amp clamp, low amp clamp. Oh, sorry, high amp clamp, low amp clamp. It has 4 attenuators for when you don't want to blow your scope up. So they're 20-to-1. It also comes with, now this is one thing this is part of the reason why I got the kit. It comes with essentially a lot of different leads. You have coil leads essentially to test with built-in plug wires. On certain vehicles that can apply, but most days now it's all coil on plug. Again, you have your your feed in and out. Also comes with lots of crocodile clips, backing probes, and all that good stuff. Yeah. So that is essentially my diagnostic. Go-to stuff for electrical stuff, really. Yeah. I mean, I suppose it's a lot of guys. You can go as expensive or as cheap as you like. Really, truth be told, I've found that this sort of gear can get you by quite easily. Don't get me wrong. I'd love to have a Pico scope with all singing, all dancing, but truth be told, I can't afford it at the moment. And sometimes it's more the onus should be on the garage owner rather than the mechanic, I feel, but that's a debate for another day. Mechanically wise, so mechanical speaking, the tools that I use to test are obviously compression gauge, checking the compression of an engine, and I believe the other one is my fuel pressure tester. So this is essentially a T-in system, a lot of different connectors, some rubber piping, sort of T-section, and a fuel pressure gauge that goes up to 10 bar. Yeah, that's essentially that. Again, you know, it doesn't really matter what sort of kit you have, as long as you know how to use it and get the best out of it, because as we all know, every tool is infallible. There will be sometimes false readings, there will be stuff like that, and it's more, the onus should be more on the mechanic to know how to interpret it. Like your scan tool sort of stuff, that can only point you in the right direction. You need to be able to interpret the information the same as the oscilloscope. You need to know how to set it up to use it, the same as a DVOM. You need to know what you're looking at and what you're looking for, more importantly. So I'd say the biggest diagnostic tool I actually have is here, truth be told. That's not a very good outlook though, is it? I'm always willing to learn though, so yeah. So here is the diagnostic tool video that you guys have been waiting for. Hope you've enjoyed it. Once I'm in the garage, I'll ask my boss and see if I can start making some videos and doing a GoPro stuff like that on the stuff that I work on and fix. So yeah, cool. Have a nice day, guys. See you soon.